Welcome everybody to a really fabulous video preview of the Coney collection. Very personal for all of us here at ArtandObject. We're going to take you through some of the really interesting works in this extraordinary collection, which is coming to auction this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. This is a collection that in the middle of winter is really a blast of colour. We've had a lot of fun putting together the catalogue. The exhibition looks fabulous. You've got a couple of days to get down and have a look at it before the auction, and I really urge you to come and see a collection that's very personal but is very much a slice of New Zealand contemporary art history over the last 20 or 30 years. And now Ben, Lee and myself are going to talk about some of the really special works in this wonderful collection.
In a collection like Annie's, it's pretty hard to pick favourites, but of course there are always standout artworks. What I've always loved about the way Annie collects is it was really about her personal interest. She doesn't favour any one thing over another. The collection strongly features figurative as well as abstract paintings. Her love of objects as well as two-dimensional artworks is something which is really evident in this exhibition, with items like the beautiful Siongolo eggs, Parekowhai's guitar, the really interesting little array of furniture, and indeed the Jeff Koons dog, which you can see just here in front of me. The painting here behind me has been a favourite. It has greeted us at Annie's front door for the last few years. The most beautiful, whimsical, entertaining work by Andrew McLeod, full of the most beautiful little vignettes, but telling a beautiful story throughout the whole painting. Of course, at ArtandObject we don't really question why people might want to sell their artworks, but lots of people have, of course, asked about why someone like Annie would choose to sell at this moment. I think you'll gather when you come and see the exhibition just how many pictures she and other lovely objects she collected, and the walls were pretty full. So Annie is pretty excited to have some blank space and some opportunity to take part in the art of collecting, which she has enjoyed for so long.
One of the most iconic works in Annie's collection is this Michael Parekowhai guitar, one of the original 10 guitars from Patriot 10 guitars. This is Tua Rima, and it is a work which, if we look back now in 2017 to the emergence of Michael Parekowhai in the 1990s, is a work where he really sets out his stall, getting in there and working away within New Zealand culture, both Pakeha and Maori. Of course, this work refers firstly to the Engelbert Humperdinck song, which has become a bit of a Kiwi classic, world famous in New Zealand, adopted in New Zealand if you like, but it has this exquisite detailing which I think renders this piece particularly personal, this lovely inlaid pawa shell, which of course reminds you of the inlaid pawa that you see in so many carved houses and Maori carvings over the years. This is a work through this simple intervention, this personalising of it. It does two things to my mind. It takes this universal emblem of musical joy and sharing and community and personalises it to both New Zealand, but also reveals to us Michael Parekowhai's unique worldview. He went on, of course, to represent New Zealand at the Venice Biennale, and is an artist who has been celebrated just this year with the installation of the incredible lighthouse sculpture down there on the Auckland waterfront. But here in this work from 1999, we see the complexity and the joyousness of Michael Parekowhai's practice, and that is something that I think really connects this work to Annie's wider collection. There's a real sense of exuberance and joy and fun in this collection.
There's so many pictures to love and to talk about in the sale, and often in these videos I sort of end up talking about the same work. So I'm going to talk about an artist today, a painting which I think is one of my favourites in the collection. It's certainly one of Annie's favourites. And he's an artist I don't think we've ever talked about in a video, which seems somewhat criminal, because he is, without question, one of New Zealand's most important painters. And that's Geoffrey Harris. And this painting here, called Maybe a Woman, is absolutely one of my favourite pictures I think we've ever offered. I've always had this problematic relationship with Geoffrey Harris's work. I grew up in a house as a young boy where there were several Geoffrey Harrises, and I was always sort of slightly disturbed and tortured by them. And it's taken me a long time to get over that. His paintings are everything that expressionist painting of the 70s and 80s should be. They're gritty, they're tough, they're psychologically charged, and sometimes they verge on slightly disturbing. This one here, I think, has many of the qualities of Harris's finest portraits. Like much of Annie's collection, it's a real shot of colour, a shot of exuberance and power and warmth. Harris has applied the paint onto the canvas in many manners here. There's a relatively flat blue background, some nice expressionist brushwork through the hair here of the female subject, more adventurous through here, and you can see he's used the verso, the end of the brush there, to create these squiggly lines, creating some real energy around the figure, almost like a force field. And then here we have this negative space, which is not uncommon for his work of this period, and inscribed across the top, "Sick on a Dream." I think this is one painting, one dream I'd be very happy to be sick on. It's absolutely fantastic.
This 1993 Oil on Board is really exquisite by Michael Stevenson, entitled Extra Mild, is a real favourite of mine in this collection. It's a work by an artist that I am very interested in and have followed for many years, and this is a really classic work from a series from the 1990s when Michael Stevenson had effectively gone into internal exile in Inglewood in Taranaki from the Smoke Dog series. In this body of work, he examines in a very light-hearted way, if you like, the addiction of smoking, the marketing of smoking, the livery of smoking, and, if you like, how the detritus of smoking, like many things, can be refashioned as these woven smoke dogs, which we'll all remember from second-hand shops back in the day, made from Marlborough, John Player Special, all these, in some cases, obsolete brands. This is a really lovely painting, and of course what we have is the delightful dog there, but of course it deals with much more serious issues, the issues of addiction and the marketing of smoking in society, which is a clear and present danger.
It pays not to take yourself too seriously, and we are an auction house. This is an auction house viewing, and two works that you probably wouldn't really see together in many situations other than an auction house. There's this work by Alan Maddox entitled Composition on Blue, and this painting beside it is Judy Miller's magnificent work from 2014 titled Proof of Heaven 2. Two artists obviously playing with the role of painting in contemporary society, keeping, especially with Judy Miller, I think, keeping the language of painting relevant in this digital age, pushing her own practice, pushing the limits of abstract painting. You can see that she's done it. It's titled Proof of Heaven. It's an absolutely beautiful composition. Looking at the original exhibition at Gal Langsford, I definitely think this was one of the best works in the show. In the Annie Coney collection is a wonderful little mini survey of Judy Miller's work. We've got very recent works. This is the most recent from 2014, the big Zoom Zoom painting, in which the artist engages screen printing as well as painting in her image making, and two smaller works. Give us a wonderful snapshot of Judy Miller's project over the last 5 to 10 years. The Alan Maddox on the right is just an absolutely grunty, ball-tearingly good abstract painting. Painted in numerous layers, a thinned out washed blue background which the artist builds up with vibrant, strong, masculine, broad paint strokes, and then applying the work straight out of the tube right at the end. Gives you a wonderful sense of depth and power.